Hello, everyone, and welcome to the class. My name is Audrey, and today our reading lesson is going to be about how the media can influence our health. So maybe some of you have heard of something called the placebo effect. If not, then we'll talk about it in class. But that's typically when we have some sort of healing or treatment that maybe is not useful or not helpful, but we think that it's going to help us, so we actually do get better. But today we're talking about something else called the nocebo effect. And what that is you hear about something that might make you sick, and just because you heard about it, you actually physically do get sick. Okay, so we'll try and see how that really does influence us and if it makes a big impact on our health. So I'm going to post the link there in the chat so you can kind of see our article and see what we're talking about. The topic or the article is called "Consuming Health-Related News Could Make You Sick," if you believe it. Okay, so let me put that up on the screen for you. And let's see, we have Goliath. Welcome, Goliath. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Great, nice to see you this morning. Or I don't know, what time is it there where you are?
It's midday, it's 12 o'clock
Okay.
a.m., so it's afternoon. We are.
Very good. Here at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
Yeah.
So you woke up early today.
Yes, very early today.
Okay.
Okay, and welcome, Igor. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Nice to see you. And what time is it over there?
Here in my country it's 2 o'clock.
Okay. Very good.
Russia.
And let's see, Akshin, how are you?
I'm fine, Audrey, and you?
Great, nice to see you. Remind me where you're from.
I'm from Azerbaijan.
Okay, yes, very good. Nice to see you. And we have Man joining us. How are you, Man?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How's it going, teacher?
Excellent. Nice to see you as well.
Nice to
Okay,
see
so
you.
let's go ahead and get started. Again, we're talking about how the media or how this health-related news might actually influence your health. Okay, so we'll, as always, continue the conversation as we read the article. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will correct your pronunciation as we read. So let's start first with Akshin. Would you like to read us the title and the underneath paragraph?
Yes, sure. Consuming health-related news could make you sick, if you believe it. Did you know the Wi-Fi in your office is making you sick? Are you feeling sort of gross all of a sudden? Just kidding, you're fine. But it turns out that even the most unsubstantiated health news can have a real-world effect on suggestible people.
Okay, excellent. So again, just getting a feel of our article, getting an idea of what we're talking about. But you can see here this example. They'll tell you something. Did you know that the Wi-Fi is making you sick? And then maybe just by hearing that, you might all of a sudden feel kind of sick. Okay, great pronunciation. Any questions?
No.
Okay, good. Anybody else have questions from that paragraph?
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question. Could you explain to me? I don't understand the word "short of gross."
Which word?
Short of gross.
It says sort of gross, right?
Yeah.
It says, are you feeling sort of gross? Gross means like sick. So are you feeling sort of sick or kind of sick, a little bit sick, all of a sudden?
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No problem. Okay, let's go to the next one. And Goliath, could you read it for us?
Telling someone they're going to feel better can result in just that. It's called the placebo effect, and the opposite is true. Nocebo is when people are told they might get sick and do.
Okay, great. And has anybody heard of the nocebo effect? Maybe you've heard of the
I heard
placebo
about
effect.
placebo, not nocebo.
Mm-hmm.
And placebo is when someone is sick, he's feel like he's sick. They gave him a water or a serum, like water. It's not medicine, and they play as if they are treating him, so he gets better. So it's called placebo, but nocebo it maybe has when someone say that if you eat this fruit you'll be sick, he will be sick even it's not true.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah, and they have many studies that show that the placebo effect is actually true, that it really does something in your mind creates these physical effects. But the nocebo effect is what this is about, which is exactly how you explained it. If somebody says you're going to get sick for whatever reason, you're or more likely to get sick. Okay. Questions or comments there? Let's go next to Igor. Could you read this one for us?
With the nocebo effect, people can experience real and extraordinary physical and mental symptoms of illness, even paralysis, when they believe they are eaten or been exposed to something they think or fear could be harmful.
Okay, excellent. I think this is quite amazing. Amazing. It says even paralysis. Does everybody know what it is, paralysis?
Yeah, when you can't move your limbs.
Right, exactly. So with this nocebo effect, they could even experience paralysis where maybe they can't move an arm or they can't move a leg just because they believe that they can't. Okay, let's go next to Mon. Can you read the next?
Okay. The nocebo effect is behind most fears of unseen dangers lurking around us, especially in our food, and explains how people can how to pronounce this word?
This word is sincerely. Sincerely.
Sincerely believe that something is making them sick, even when there is no biological, is it right?
Mm-hmm. Biological.
Biological basis for their symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
When we're told or know there is no scientific basis for what we're experiencing, it's still hard to believe that our minds can be that powerful.
Okay, very good. Any questions as you were reading that?
I like the last sentence. It's still hard to believe that our minds can be that powerful.
Right. Do you agree with that statement?
I like it a lot. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
So the power of the mind has no limit.
Right, right. You would think that if something's all in your mind that you wouldn't see such physical reactions, but we see them all the time. Does anybody know of an example, maybe in the media, of this nocebo effect, of something that you've read or something that you've heard that causes harm that maybe really doesn't?
No, but sometimes it causes a panic, a massive panic in the population when they say the water is contaminated, and you imagine the panic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, people start to vomit and start to throw up, start to be sick. They said, "Oh
Right.
my God, we're gonna die" or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Right. And there's a lot of things that people kind of say are cancer causing. I think that's the most popular thing, at least here in the US, that everything causes cancer. And maybe it's true. Things like sodas or diet sodas or plastic and metal cans. A lot of people associate these things. I'm not sure in your countries, but in America, it's very popular to say that they have carcinogens or cancer-causing materials. And so a lot of people won't use plastic bottles or metal tins because of that. Is it similar maybe in your country? Anybody? Is there this kind of scare about cancer, things that cause
Yes,
cancer?
yes. I wanted to, because I talked a lot, so I want to see if my mates here to speak. But if they don't, I can say that we hear a lot about those agents causing cancer, chemical agents like EE or something that we found that helped to conserve the food in the cans.
Mm-hmm.
Some color, what's you say, the thing that colored
The food coloring?
the food, or colored the juice or something like that, they are
Mm-hmm.
chemical substances. Always they say that they are cancerogen, uh,
We say carcinogens,
car
carcinogens.
carcinogen,
Right. Let me
and
type it in the chat.
yeah, no, but the pronunciation is not same in French. It's cancerigen.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Carcinogen. Okay. Yeah, so cancer-causing materials. And how about you, Akshin? Do you have these similar worries in your culture, in your country?
Um, Actually, it's not so much as I think it's in the USA, but it increases nowadays because in my country, in my culture, uh, we are we are eating more natural foods, but nowadays, uh, so carcinogen foods are increasing also in my country. So some people pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. And maybe some of that is true. So it's kind of hard to know what is true and what is just hype or the media trying to spread worry and concern. For me personally, I don't really, you know, care so much about these type of things. I just eat whatever, and if it causes cancer, then I'm just unlucky. But, but I think maybe there are some legitimate worries.
Yeah, it's not. We didn't see in. I don't know. That's agents have a long-term effect, so we can tell when or where. And in cancer, there is a genetic factor. So
Hmm.
When I smoke, sometimes they tell me, "Hey, you wanna have a cancer?" I said, they die in a traffic, more than cancer in one day in traffic, in more than 1 year of cancer. So who knows who's
Right. It's a good, or maybe it's a way to look at it.
yeah.
Yeah. So
People
and
know.
this, especially with things like that, there are many agents that cause cancer. So.
Maybe we notice an increase in cancer because of the way of eating or the food, the nature of food. Before there was healthy food like organic food now.
Mhm.
But to say exactly if it's cancerogen or not, there's many studies and they are contradicting each other. I don't know.
Mhm. Right. Right. So let's continue our article. Janghoon, are you there?
Yes,
Okay. Welcome to the class. Nice to see you.
nice to see you too.
Tell me where you're from.
I'm from South Korea.
Okay. Excellent. Would you like to read this next paragraph for us?
Okay. From the term?
Right.
Okay. The term nocive, Beko, the term Beko, which means I will harm, was introduced in the 1960s and it is very real. Around 60% of patients undergoing chemotherapy start feeling sick before their treatment.
Okay. Great. Just this word here is chemotherapy. Chemotherapy.
Chemotherapy.
Okay. And that's the specific cancer treatment. Which, if you've known anybody who's had cancer, chemotherapy is a very difficult treatment. It's very sickness inducing, and most people feel very sick while they're undergoing chemotherapy. Um, and it says 60% of patients start feeling sick before they even start their treatment. So, with the anticipation of starting that treatment, they get sick already. Okay, questions there?
No.
Okay. Akshin, would you read us the next one?
Yeah, sure. The nocebo effect can also be catching. When we expect something to make us ill, we start looking for signs of illness. And studies have shown that if you hear of or observe a possible side effect, you are more likely to develop it yourself.
Okay, very good. Let's go straight on to. Oh, was there a question? Let's go next to Goliath. Would you read the next one?
Okay. For example, researchers think so-called wind turbine syndrome, where people feel poorly from living near wind farms, is the result of nocebo. People feel ill effects not because there's evidence that wind farms cause harm, but because they have heard there might be a problem.
Okay, very good. And how do you think that the scientists can tell that this is something resulting from the nocebo effect, or if it's something legitimate?
Sorry, the question?
Sure. How do you think that scientists can tell if the problem is as a result of the nocebo effect, or if it's a legitimate health problem?
They can tell by testing the body and testing blood tests, everything. They check, they've made x-rays, everything. They find they are normal people, but they are developing symptoms with no reason. So there is no biological or reason behind it, so it's just same symptoms as a real illness.
Mm-hmm.
So they can make because they make in tests, so everything is normal.
Right, right. So they have all these tests that test almost every part of the body. They can see that maybe nothing biological is happening there.
So it's like a psychological effect.
Mm-hmm.
The brain control the body, so
Right.
it interprets that there is a warn or a danger. So it's like they the brain believe that there is this illness is existing, and it will simulate. It's like simulation of the
Mm-hmm.
illness that you fear it.
Right. And do you think that something can start out, and this is for anybody, do you think that something can start out psychological and then turn into something physical?
Physical, not the illness, the symptoms only. It can't simulate the illness with the same problem, just the symptoms, like
Mm-hmm.
throw up, like feeling headache, like out of breath, difficulty of breathing, uh,
Right.
things, just symptoms, not the illness itself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's go next to Jungwoo. Would you like to read this one?
Okay. Which point out the alarming possibility that what we say about illness could lead people to get sick. Might the media, which loves to report on health scares, cause people to feel bad?
Okay, very good. And now we're moving not just to things that we hear, but the media, which if you ever watch the news or any kind of media, especially online, you'll see constantly things about what can make you sick, what can cause cancer, what can be bad for your health. And maybe all of that information is adding to this problem. Okay, and we're going to look at an example study. Akshin, would you read this one?
That's the conclusion.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. That's the conclusion of new research led by Michael Withoff at Johannes Gutenberg University in Germany. While on a research trip in the UK, Withoff and the British researcher named James Robin recruited 147 adults. They showed
Okay.
okay.
I just wanted to point out this word here, recruited.
Recruited.
Okay, so make sure to pronounce that ed ending so you know it's in the past. You can continue on to this one if you'd like.
Okay, they showed half an alarmist TV report about the dangers of Wi-Fi signals. The other half watched a package about the security of online and cell phone data.
Okay, very good. So this is the beginning of our study. They had two groups. They showed one half the dangers of Wi-Fi signals and the other half this other package about security and online security. So what do you think is going to happen in the study?
I think they will simulate what they are fearing, they will simulate the same symptoms they heard about, I think.
Mm-hmm. Which group?
The Janjijo Wi-Fi?
Right, so we'd probably expect the group with the dangers of Wi-Fi to have those symptoms from the report that they watched. And remember, they're only watching half a report. Okay, Goliath, would you read the next one?
Then they brought the subjects one by one into a small room and sat them in front of laptop. They put a band of the participants' heads called a Wi-Fi amplifier and told them to push a button marked Wi-Fi.
Okay, so they have these kind of fake devices, a Wi-Fi amplifier. It's not really anything. And then they have this button to push. Jungwon, would you read the next one?
Okay. More than half, 54% experience agitation,
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, loss of concentration, or tingling. Is it right?
Tingling, yes, tingling.
Tingling in their fingers, arms, legs, and feet. Despite there being no Wi-Fi in the room, and despite there being no evidence Wi-Fi causes harm, two patients actually left the room because they couldn't go through with it.
Okay, very good. So what is tingling? What does that mean? They experience tingling in their fingers, arms, legs, and feet. What is tingling? Does anybody know?
Is it like you feel ants in your arm?
Yeah, kind of like that. You feel like there's ants on your arm, or like there's something crawling on your arm. Like a strange moving sensation or feeling. So they felt tingling in their fingers, arms, legs, and feet. And really, in reality, there was no Wi-Fi in the room. So not only does Wi-Fi probably not cause these problems, but there was no Wi-Fi at all. So it was impossible that it was happening. I like this last sentence. It says two participants actually left the room. So they said, this is too much for me. The Wi-Fi is too strong. I can't handle it. And they had to leave. Very interesting. Goes back to how powerful our minds are.
Mm.
Okay, Akshin, would you read the next one for us?
Okay. The mere anticipation of possible injury may actually trigger pain or disorders, says Whithoft in a press release. Most troubling of all, nocebos could become self-fulfilling, the researchers say. Because people believe they are going to get sick, they will start monitoring themselves more and become anxious. After a while, that could make them more susceptible.
Hello?
Audrey, where is the teacher? Hey,
Maybe she feared